I am Dr. Mudassar and I am going to speak few words about cellular transduction. So let's begin. We have evolved from unicellular organisms to multicellular organisms, and our cells have developed mechanisms to communicate and influence another via signals. The cells receive and respond to these extracellular cues or signals through receptors. The first response is triggering the complex signaling network that relay extracellular cues into the cells, culminating in reprogramming of various biochemical, genetic, and structural processes. The cell signaling begins with the signaling molecule binding with the receptor. A protein which is present on the surface of the cell or inside the cell. When the ligand binds with the receptor, it induces conformational change to the receptor. This activates a well controlled reaction carried out by a second messenger, which are also called as internal signal molecules, that transfer the quantifiable message to effector system inside the cell, which brings about a biological response. Now, thus, the cell signaling is a crucial cog in cellular response. Now, what is this cell signaling? Cell signaling, by definition, is a fundamental process by which specific information is transferred from one cell to another cell and from cell surface to the cytosol and ultimately to the nucleus, leading to changes in gene expression, which brings about a physiological effect. Before understanding cell signaling, we should understand what is actually a signal. Signal are basically perturbation or disturbances in cellular homeostasis. What is this homeostasis? Homeostasis is internal environment of the cell. Now, the disturbances or perturbations in the cellular environment could be mechanical, that is change in mechanical energy, or change in electrical energy, which are called as electrical signals. Change in temperature is called as thermal signals, and change in chemical composition is called as chemical signal. Majority of the cells communicate with each other with chemical signals or chemical messengers, also known as hormones. But mind you that all hormones are not chemical messengers. All chemical messengers could be hormones, but not all chemical messengers are hormones. Now, what are hormones? That will be dealt to you when we are teaching endocrine physiology. Now, let us see what are the different types of cell signaling. Cell signaling can be basically classified into two categories: extracellular and intracellular. The cell signaling component occurring outside the cell and inside the cell. So, how does cell signaling occur outside the cell? What are the different types? First is autocrine. In autocrine cell signaling, the signaling molecules act on the same cell from which it is secreted. In paracrine cell signaling, the signaling molecules act on the target cells which are present in close vicinity. In endocrine cell signaling, the signaling molecules are released into bloodstream which act on the target tissues which are present at a long distances or short distances. In juxtacrine cell signaling, the two cells are attached with proteins like adhesion proteins, tight junctions, or gap junctions. For example, gap junctions. Through gap junctions, these gap junctions are proteins or porous proteins or pores which allow free flow of ions from one cell to other. So in the gap junctions, the cells communicate by transferring the ions or electrical signals via these gap junctions which are present in close vicinity. So the cellular signaling by attaching to the target cell is called as juxtacrine cell signaling. Now moving on to the intracellular. Intracellular signaling is nothing but the second messenger system which is activated by stimulation of receptor present on the cell. Now let us see what are the components of this cell signaling. Components of cell signaling can be broadly termed as cybernetic system, which consists of a signal discriminator, a signal transducer, and a signal amplifier. Now in this topic we are concerned with mainly signal transduction. Let us see what is cell signal transduction. Signal transduction By definition, it is a biochemical process by which cells translate extracellular signal originating from the environment into a specific response. Now, the components of this signal transduction are binding of extracellular signal molecule with the receptor, which brings about a conformational change in it that translates into a specific response, that is generation of specific second messenger system. So signal transduction components are binding of the signaling molecule with the receptor, conformational change of the receptor, that is transduction, conversion of signaling molecule energy into generation of second messenger system, that is transduction, signal transduction. Those are the components of signal transduction. Now, how does this signal transduction occur? It occurs via receptors. What are the different types of receptors? Let us see. Receptors can be broadly classified into the receptors present over the cell surface and the receptors present inside the cell intracellularly. The ligands which are lipophilic, which can cross the plasma membrane, they have their receptors inside the cytoplasm or inside the nucleus. And the signaling molecules which are lipophobic or hydrophilic, they cannot penetrate the cell membrane. These have the receptors present over the cell surface. Now the surface receptors are classified broadly into these four types. What are the different subtypes? I will be telling you subsequently. Number 1 is ligand-gated ion channels. Ligand-gated ion channels are transmembrane proteins in which it has got a extracellular domain to which the signaling molecule binds, and upon binding of this signaling molecule, the ion channel opens and allows a specific ion to flow into it and bring about a biological effect. Next is G-protein coupled receptor. G-protein coupled receptor are transmembrane proteins, are large transmembrane proteins which are coupled to G-protein. When the signaling molecule binds with the extracellular site of this G-protein coupled receptor, the intracellular G-protein is activated, which brings about a biological effect by generation of second messenger system. Third is the receptors which are having enzymatic activity. These are also transmembrane proteins with extracellular domain having a binding site for the signaling molecule, and the intracellular part of this protein has enzymatic activity. When the signaling molecule binds with this transmembrane receptor, the enzymatic activity is activated, which catalyzes or activates the different proteins present inside the cell and brings about a biological effect. So now let us see what are the different types. Yes, types and subtypes. So as I have stated, the receptors are broadly classified into surface receptors and intracellular receptors. Surface receptors are ligand-gated ion channels, G-protein coupled receptors, and receptors with catalytic activity. G-protein coupled receptors are again subdivided into three types. G-protein coupled receptors linked to cyclical AMP second messenger system, G-protein coupled receptors linked to inositol triphosphate diacylglycerol second messenger system, and G-protein coupled receptors linked to arachidonic acid derivatives second messenger system. Next type are catalytic receptors. As I have shown that these are the transmembrane proteins with enzymatic activity present on the intracellular component of the receptor. When the signaling molecule binds with these receptors, it activates the enzyme. Based on the enzyme present, they are again classified into guanylyl cyclase receptors, serine or threonine kinase receptors, tyrosine kinase transmembrane receptors, and tyrosine phosphatase transmembrane receptors. Again, the intracellular receptors are again broadly classified into nuclear receptors and cytosolic receptors. Intracellular receptors which are present in the cytosol are called as cytosolic receptors, and the receptors present inside the nucleus are called as nuclear receptors. Now let us see how these individual receptors act and help in signal transduction. First, G protein coupled receptor. Regarding ligand gated ion channel, I have explained to you earlier, but I will be explaining in detail about G protein coupled receptor. You can see here in this graphic, this is the G protein coupled receptor. This is a very large transmembrane protein, which is a serpentine protein. Serpentine meaning snake. So it winds, it's like a snake. You can see here it is like a snake. It winds about 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times it winds across the cell membrane. And on extracellular side, it has got a area which binds with the signaling molecules, and intracellular component has a site which binds with G protein. When the hormone or any signaling molecule binds with the extracellular site, you can see here this G protein is activated. When it is activated, it binds with the intracellular machinery present, which activates second messenger system, which brings about a action, biological effect. So based on the second messenger system, they are again classified into 3. Number 1, G protein coupled receptor linked to cyclical AMP, second messenger system. So when the extracellular hormone binds, when the hormone binds or the chemical messenger binds with the extracellular site on the G protein coupled receptor, the G protein is activated. Basically, the G protein consists of 3 subunits: alpha, beta and gamma. The alpha subunit along with GTP is detached when it is activated, and it binds with an enzyme which is present inside the cell membrane, which is called as adenylyl cyclase. This adenylyl cyclase converts ATP into cyclical AMP. Now this cyclical AMP binds with protein and phosphorylates several proteins present inside the cell and brings about a cellular response. So that is about G protein coupled receptor coupled to cyclical AMP second messenger system. Next is G protein coupled receptor linked to inositol triphosphate and diacylglycerol second messenger system. Here again it is very similar. There is a G protein coupled receptor. There is an extracellular site and intracellular site. When the ligand binds with the extracellular site, the G protein is activated. The activated alpha subunit activates the phospholipase C. Now this phospholipase C, it causes production of inositol triphosphate and diacylglycerol from the phospholipids present in the cell membrane. This IP3 and DAG generated, they either increase the intracellular calcium or they activate phosphokinase C, which brings about a physiological effect inside the cell, that is cell response. The common cell signaling molecule which acts via this mechanism is arginine vasopressin. This is the hormone released from posterior pituitary, which helps in conservation of water in our body. Next is G protein coupled receptor linked to arachidonic acid derivatives. Here you can see this is also a G protein. Here what happens is the G protein, when it is activated upon binding of hormone to the extracellular site of the receptor, phospholipase is activated by G protein, which converts the phospholipids into phosphatidylinositol. Now diacylglycerol, which is formed from these phosphoinositols, it acts on arachidonic acid and causes production of prostaglandins. These prostaglandins help in or modulate the cellular response. Next is catalytic receptors. Best example for this is tyrosine kinase. Here you can see when the hormone binds with the extracellular site of the receptor, the intracellular part of the receptor has tyrosine kinase activity, which phosphorylates the tyrosine residues of all the proteins present inside the cell. That's how the proteins, what all proteins are present inside the cell having tyrosine amino acid, they are phosphorylated, which brings about a biological effect in the form of translocation of transporters, activation of enzymes, and activation of transcriptor factors. Next is intracellular receptors. Intracellular receptors are two, that is nuclear receptors and cytosolic receptors. The binding hormones, the binding signaling molecules generally for these intracellular receptors are lipophilic. They easily penetrate the cell membrane and bind with the receptor present inside the cell. The receptors present in the cytosol are called as cytosolic receptors, and the receptors present inside the nucleus are called as nuclear receptors. The example for cytosolic receptor are the receptors for aldosterone. Aldosterone freely penetrates the cell membrane, binds with the mineralocorticoid receptor, and brings about a biological effect, that is incorporation of epithelial sodium channels on the tubular epithelial side of the renal tubules. The example of nuclear receptor is receptor for thyroxine or thyroid hormone. The thyroid hormone freely penetrates the cell membrane and also the nuclear membrane and binds with the receptor present inside the nucleus. It directly modulates the gene expression and brings about a biological effect, that is growth, CNS development. On cardiovascular system, it increases the cardiac output, tissue blood flow, heart rate, increases the contractility of heart, and it increases metabolism by following effects like increasing the mitochondrial activity, sodium ATPase activity, increasing the oxygen consumption, glucose absorption, increasing gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis, increasing lipolysis, and increasing protein synthesis, and subsequently increasing the basal metabolic rate. That's how the signaling molecules act. If you have any doubts, you can ask me and put down your questions in the comment section. That's all about signal transduction. To summarize what I have spoken about the definition of cell signaling. Then what are the different types I have spoken? I told you they are broadly classified into extracellular and intracellular. Extracellular again classified as autocrine, paracrine, endocrine, and justacrine. And then the cell signaling is basically a cybernetic system which consists of signal discriminator, signal transducer, transduction, and signal amplification. In signal transduction mainly occurs via receptors. These receptors are present either on the surface or inside the cell. Surface receptors are ligand-gated ion channels, G-protein coupled receptors, or surface receptors with enzymatic activity. Intracellular receptors are broadly classified into two: cytoplasmic receptors and nuclear receptors. After the signaling molecule binds with these receptors, it causes production of second messenger systems which amplify the signal. And after the amplification of the signal, the biological response is produced. That's how our body functions. That's all.